Hey there everyone, Steve Gonzer, physical therapist with RunSmart Online. I'm going to give the arbitrary 5 to 10 second delay here before I get going to make sure that this is working, because Facebook is really kind of weird about how we do this. So we're getting ready here to launch our app, and I know a lot of people are excited about that. We're actually in beta testing for it, so you can actually get all those strength workouts, all the run form stuff that you need without having a little bit easier. But as we're getting ready for this, we have the new year coming up. Depending on when you watch this, people are getting excited for the goals for 2020, and there are some questions coming through, and I'm going to start addressing a lot of questions throughout the next 2 weeks to help people get ready for the 2020 running season. Real quick, before I forget, if you want help with your training, your strength training, all that kind of good stuff to make your 2020 an amazing year of running, you're sick of injuries, all that stuff, struggling with run form, whatever it might be, go to tryrunsmart.com. There's a bunch of stuff there, and we can help you out with your training. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about run form, and we have a couple different programs that we run throughout the year, but I want to just give you guys some things to think about. If you're struggling with your run form, it usually looks something like this. You are stiff and achy, you feel kind of out of sorts with running, your legs get heavy, your knees might be achy. I'm not talking about a knee injury, but you're just kind of achy. You feel like you're getting beat up with the ground. This is going to be a great video for you. Generally, if you're over the age of 40 or 50, this is a great video to do, because one of the biggest things we're always concerned about is long-term joint health with running, and there's things that you can do with your running and your run form to help you improve how you run and how you land and all that good stuff. So I'm going to actually show you guys here in a second. Let me make sure my mic's working, and I'm going to show you a runner that was in the clinic recently, and we're going to just talk about, okay, I want to start working on my run form. How do I channel it? Because what you don't want to do, and I see this a lot, is people want to fix everything all at once. What you want to do is start slicing it up. And we slice it up into 4 columns. We slice it up into how your foot hits the ground. That's the first thing. Then we look at, are you running from your glutes and your core? Do you have a good knee drive? That's our second column. And then we look at 3rd and 4th, which is lean and trunk rotation, upper body movement, because most runners don't realize that running is a whole body motion, and you should be running from your whole body. So what I want to do is show you this video here. Okay, so we're just going to watch her run. I'll let this play through. So we're going to see a couple different things here, and I'm just going to talk about that number 1 thing, which is how do you, actually I paused it perfectly, when we look at foot position and foot contact, there's a lot of talk about this stuff as far as how should the foot hit the ground. And generally what we're looking for is we want to make sure that we don't have a completely straight knee. This fully straight knee is really where the detriment of most runners get in trouble, because when that knee goes perfectly straight and it's locked like that, what ends up happening is it will cause a lot of compression forces through the joints, through the body. And if you actually look at this, this force of the ground is driving this runner backwards. So as soon as she comes through and pushes off on this foot, she's going to be braking on that foot. So the number 1 thing that we always ask our runners to do is to learn how to get away from this type of running. If you've seen a race photo that looks very similar to this, this is definitely something you want to consider. But also if you're a runner who struggles with knee health issues, sore achy joints, that kind of stuff, this is huge, because you're going to take the load away from the knee by transitioning away from this, but you're also going to run faster because you're not going to be braking on every step. Now, how should your foot land? I'm going to just take it to here. This is the ideal landing. It doesn't matter if your heel's hitting a little bit. There's a lot of misconception on what this should look like. A lot of people think they should just not be hitting their heel, but that's not the truth. The key thing is to have a perfectly, or as close as you can, vertical shin and flexed. Really, that flexed knee is really what you're looking for, because think about this for a second. When the ground pushes up against this runner, it's going to be pushing up. Previously, it was driving them backwards. So that pushing up force is going to allow this leg to push off and carry this runner quicker and faster down the road. But from an injury standpoint, I'm not very good at these buttons right now. From an injury standpoint, when this knee is flexed, it allows the instant the body hits the ground to absorb that shock. When the leg's perfectly straight, you're just bone on bone. The easiest analogy, and it's kind of like just jumping up in the air, don't do this, and coming down straight kneed. It's going to be super uncomfortable because there's no shock absorption there. And runners get used to it over time, but it's not necessarily the best way to do this. So first thing to do is always work on transitioning that straight knee landing position to a flexed knee If you want help doing this, there's a lot of drills and exercises and things that different people use. As long as you get to the right spot with it and get that vertical shin, that's really the goal for it. If you want help learning how to do this, go to the link in this post or try RunSmart.com. We have a program called RunSmart Mechanix, which is a kind of a do-it-yourself program where you can actually go through and learn how to make these changes and then go through the next couple phases that I'll talk about in a future video. And then we also have some other programs called like Midfoot Project, which is going to be happening in early February. You can take a look at that one. Needless to say, working in run form is super important. Runners have this idea that I just can go out and run more and I just get better. And that's true to an extent, but when you're looking at time commitments, you're getting older, all these things, running more is not necessarily always the answer. It can actually get you into a lot of trouble. So learning how to run more efficiently, better, with better shock absorption is great, especially for our runners who are over the age of 40 and 50, all the way up and through 70. You can learn this at any point. You just have to rewire some habits, some old bad habits. So hopefully this helps you. If you want some help with your run form, go to tryrunsmart.com. We have a full program called RunSmart Mechanix that can help you learn how to start running more efficiently so you don't have to struggle as much. All right, guys. Hope this is helpful. Any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be around to answer them. Bye. Have a great day.